Well, we've been almost 6 years now. We met at a friend's dinner. We were both invited. We didn't know each other. I mean, I knew Gabi from the television, but I hadn't met her. And we were invited by a common friends, and we had our first argument.
And then I stalked her on Facebook, so...
I asked her to get married. I had been thinking about it for quite a long time, and but I wasn't sure how I was going to propose, basically. I remember I was working on this exhibition, which gave me a lot of hassle, and Gabi came to help me, although she's not an artist, and we were working very, very late at St. James. And from that moment when I was looking at her painting this piece at 11 o'clock at night, I knew that, you know, we were meant to be together. You know, who would do something as crazy as that? And after the security guard told us, listen, you know, you have to leave, and we were going for the car in the car park near St. James, and I asked her to marry me.
Nice it is. Yes, we told our friends, I think, and then eventually, obviously, my family, her brother as well, got to know, so friends and family, basically.
My brother was very happy for me because he likes Gabi a lot, and thinks I made a good decision. So he was very happy. And Gabi's family, they were very, very happy as well. Her mother poked a bit of fun at us.
Yes, my mother's been married for a very long time, so she's a bit sarcastic about it. Like, you know, you could have gotten away with, had the best reason ever not to get married, you know, and you chose to do it anyway. So she's actually very happy for us.
Yes. We got married abroad. I asked Gabi to marry me before the civil union was, and to be quite honest, I was very skeptical on how long the whole process was going to be, and I always wanted to get married. One of the dreams that I had was to get married in New York, and we managed after quite a bit of...
Yes, I think for both of us, getting married was important rather than a civil union, because, you know, it's, for me at least, it was important to be able to say she's my wife, not my civil partner or my life partner. She's my wife. The morning was a bit of a mad dash because Nadine decided she wanted a new dress, so we went shopping for
Well, I didn't decide that I wanted a new dress, but I mean, there's quite a long process. We were supposed to get married a year before, but I got sick and I had an operation, and I took quite long to recover, and my body changed, so my wedding dress didn't fit, and we were in New York, I mean, and there is a lot of different types of wedding dresses you could buy, so I took advantage of the situation.
We went to Central Park, all decked out. We took a New York taxi.
Morning it was a bit grey, the weather, but then as soon as we arrived at Central Park, the sun came out, and it was a perfect day.
It was a very intimate ceremony. We had vows which we wrote ourselves.
Which I forgot, and I had to make them up as I go, because I got very excited and my flushed.
We had some readings which we chose from beforehand, which the officiant integrated within the ceremony. It was a beautiful setting. We were next to a small lake, and although there were people all around us, we were so focused on each other. I think we were a little bit oblivious of what else was going on. It was really a memorable, I think, afternoon for us.
There were so many things that happened before for us to get to that day, from the battles that Gabi went through, and my illness, and that it actually happened was a bit surreal, and it happened in New York. And I think one of the sweetest moments as well was there was this kid who was dressed up as Spider-Man, and he was circling, which made it quite surreal. And then after we got married, we went for a horse ride around the park, which was really, really beautiful, and we had a beautiful dinner as well in the evening, which was amazing. So we basically had the wedding and the honeymoon all mixed up. Yes, you do feel different.
Not so much that our lives changed in any way, because we were living together from before, so in a sense our routines didn't change, but
there's
I think
more
that
a commitment,
Yeah.
you know that although I knew, I mean, from that moment when Gabi was painting in St. James for me to what we had been through the previous year, now it's like she's part of, she's my family, so she has my back, I have her back, and it feels more real. Sometimes we're doing something and I tend to her say, I can't believe that you're my wifey or something we're still a bit geekish about the whole the whole event.
we have this joke, I think, of us in these frames that old people use, when they're a little bit too old to manage on their own. So we imagine ourselves side by side, walking along some garden or some seafront somewhere, keeping our joints going,
And
basically.
we'll be arguing on something
I'm sure
that
there'll be a dog in the picture.
yes, I'm obsessed with sausage dogs, so I imagine that we'll have a couple of sausage dogs. So
So hopefully not too demented, but there you go. I've been involved with MGRM since 2003, just after I came back from working abroad. I'd recently come out to myself, and the movement helped me also to come out, in a sense, to the nation. But yes, it's almost, I think, 13, 14 years now. It's very hard to pinpoint the exact time when the campaign actually began, because the initial years of the movement were very much focused on raising awareness and actually getting people to just talk and understand what gay issues were. But I think then as the movement in a sense got more established, we started focusing on the recognition of same-sex couples, and part of that shift over the years was also talking about families, so not just couples but also couples and their children. Perhaps I would say 3, 4, 5 years after the start of MGRM is when we actually then started talking about the recognition of same-sex couples. All the discourse that went around, especially the issue of same-sex parents. So I think where the recognition of same-sex couples was concerned, that sort of people had kind of come around to it, at least most people, but where children were concerned there was still quite a lot of opposition, and the fact that people felt that they could make that judgment about gay people just because they love someone of the same sex, that somehow you couldn't possibly be a good parent, and that wanting to be a parent was somehow some form of child abuse almost. I think that was for me the most difficult part to bear, that complete strangers think they have a right to judge how you live your life, who you love, and what kind of family you want to have. I was in Parliament actually, listening to what was happening.
I was in the square.
Parliamentary sessions are always broadcast, but there was a live, so there was a connection, and there was the sound system was set up to broadcast actually the moment when it happened. with a bit of a delay always. So after it happened in Parliament, myself and Cyrus Andrew, I remember we walked down into the square to join the rest of the crowd, and as we were at the bottom of the stairs, we hear this huge roar, which is when it was heard by the rest of the crowd in the square. And I remember my hair stood on end. It was the most amazing feeling. There's this joy that you could feel from the crowd outside, and then going out of the palace into the square. So it's quite an amazing evening, actually. It's something I don't think I'll ever forget.
So I think after our wedding day, I think that is one of the most, because I knew how hard Gabi worked all those years. They were a hard couple of months because, as Gabi said, some of the comments were quite horrible. That people would say certain things about you just because you're gay. It was quite serious. So that was a good achievement, I think.
I think the enactment of the civil union brought about a sense of somehow acceptance within society. It was a huge step forward in terms of being recognized by government within a legal framework that also now included same-sex couples and the children. The recognition of the most important relationship in your life, I think, is very important. So, and I think it changed multi-society because since then there's been so many now civil unions.
So many different types of people have attended civil unions, so even maybe those who were a bit skeptical might have, I gone to a civil union, seen the couple together, so the whole process has changed society, I think.
At the celebration itself on that night, I remember meeting some older LGBTI people who I'd never really seen being out in public before, and just because the law had been passed, they felt safer and more accepted, in a sense that allowed them to be who they were in public, which I think in itself is a very powerful message.
Well, never a dull moment. I think that is but I happy. How would you describe it?
I find it very hard to describe things in just one word.
Yes,
but I mean, if I had to think about us, I would say love and loyalty and commitment are the words I would use.
Yes.
We belong together, I think. That's